Hey guys, Nick Review Mix here in time for some new comic reviews. First I want to show this, I'm not reviewing it, but I just want to show it to you. This is the Deadpool Suicide Kings hardcover that I picked up. It cost $25, which for a big, meaty, gigantic hardcover like this is not bad. It not only has the 5-issue Suicide Kings miniseries, but also, as you can probably tell from the cover, the Deadpool Games of Death one-shot, which was a pretty big issue as it is, so you get a lot for your money there. Anyway, on to the reviews. Here we have Green Lantern number 46, a Blackest Night tie-in issue by Geoff Johns and Doug Mahnke. One thing that I wanted to mention about this issue that struck me, Doug Mahnke's artwork is so good. I think he's even better than Ivan Reyes. I mean, Ivan Reyes is amazing, but Doug Mahnke, the artwork in this is absolutely stunning. It's clean, it's crisp, it's detailed, there's a lot going on, but you could tell what's going on. It's never overwhelming. And even though his artwork is so clean, it still manages to be gritty and creepy at the same time. A lot of this issue focuses on, you could see from the cover, you've got Carol Ferris, Star Sapphire, you got Sinestro, and you got Hal Jordan. If you've been reading Blackest Night, you know that eventually, all 7 of the Corps are going to have to team up. Not necessarily, the entirety of the Corps, but definitely these 3, Indigo 1, Larfleeze, Atrocitus, and St. Walker. And they have very complicated relationships with each other, and it's kind of explored in this. A lot of it takes place on Zamaron, where, as you can see, Sinestro had come to attack and liberate his own Sinestro Corpsmen, who were basically captured by the Zamarons and tried to convert them into Star Sapphires, the female members of the Sinestro Corps anyway. For example, one was Crib, who went off on her own little adventure with a certain Star Sapphire recently. Then the Black Lanterns show up, and, obviously they're attacking everything. I think it's pretty amazing, and you see that Sinestro is kind of unwilling to team up with anybody, but he kind of has to. Hal Jordan is whisked here by Indigo 1, and I guess you can call this guy Indigo 2, I don't know. He's kind of pissed off because he wanted to help Flash and the rest of them, which is funny because as soon as Indigo 1 told him that he would have to come with her, he was like, okay, let's go. And then Flash is like, no, wait, we need you here. And he had a whole argument with him. This is in Blackest Night. Now that Indigo 1 whisks him away, he's like, no, wait, I want to go help Flash. It's kind of an insight into his character. There's a lot of interplay here, and it all happens in the middle of the action. Of course, one of the 2 big reveal scenes, the big awesome scenes, is when the Black Lanterns, the Black Rings, come for the two lovers that are enshrined on Zamaron and crystallize, and that's what the Violet Power Battery had formed around them. They become Black Lanterns, and it shatters the entirety of the Violet Power Battery. You just see the Black Lanterns' power levels go up. 63.24, 68.99, 71.42. Every .01 is a death, so it killed a lot of people. Presumably a lot of them Star Sapphires, although I'm sure some of the Sinestro Corps members got caught in that blast as well. There's a little bit here, only one page with Xanshi and John Stewart. That's not really the focus. Indigo brings the group now to Korugar, where Sinestro faces off against Mongul, and you get this absolutely great fight scene. Mongul has been trying to take control of the Yellow Lanterns and rename it the Mongul Corps. And, he's easily enough can defeat Sinestro because he has more rings and he's also this big, huge guy. But Sinestro, of course, he made the Yellow Power Rings. He's able to override them. I just love this scene. It will always be the Sinestro Corps, and Mongul just gets fucked up. And then he says, I think you need a recharge, and the Yellow Power Battery just comes down and slams on him. He's not dead. I love this scene where you see them as the different colors, of course, when the Black Lantern ship crashes. Of course, you see Carol Ferris as the Violet Love, Hal Jordan is the Green Will, Sinestro is the Yellow Fear, and Indigo is the Indigo Compassion, and of course, Abin Sur and Aaron Sur at the end there. And they're hinting at Red Dawn coming up next, so I guess Atrocitus will be the next to join the Coalition. Very good issue, amazing artwork, very much enjoyed it. Here we have Justice Society of America, number 31. This is by Willingham and Sturgis. I actually enjoyed this one. Even though I think it's been on kind of a decline, JSA, since Geoff Johns left, but I think they're doing a pretty good job. It's picking up where last issue left off with Magog and Wildcat at each other's throats, and everybody's trying to back it up, especially that Magog is not holding back, and they're saying, with his power, he could easily, injure or even kill Wildcat, and Wildcat, of course, doesn't want to hear that. Wildcat is just a guy in a suit who punches people. Dr. Fate is pretty amusing, too. They're interrogating the villains from last issue. We still haven't found out who the mastermind behind all this is, but all we know is that someone who was paying very high-priced bounties for any members of the JSA that are killed except for Starfire. If she's touched at all, nobody gets paid. This kid, it's revealed through the security tapes that he was the one, the All-American kid, he was the one who stabbed Mr. Terrific dozens of times. He doesn't remember doing it. He thinks he was in some sort of trance, or it didn't happen, or it's a video fabrication. I thought he did it, but as to why, and why he doesn't remember it, we don't know. Here's a little bit with the villains there. The artwork in this issue is very, very nice, as you could so plainly see. And there's a good bit here near the end with Magog, and then there's an even better bit with King Chimera and Flash, and you kind of get insight into his personality. He's kind of a jackass. And then at the end, Green Lantern says it right out that Mr. Terrific is dead. I don't know how dead is dead. Are we talking, Rexplode dead? Are we talking Angstrom Levy dead? Nice little Invincible reference there. So, did they really kill him off? That would be pretty amazing. He's been a pretty established character for a while now. Overall, I enjoy this issue, and the ending certainly threw me. Here's Superman number 692 by James Robinson, and an artist I never heard of called Dagnino. He's a big step over Renato Guedes, I'll tell you that. Although Guedes has been kind of growing on me, the artwork is definitely a step up with this new guy here. This focuses a lot on the Guardian of Metropolis. Obviously, they think Mon-El is dead. I think that the events there played out a lot more in Supergirl. I don't collect Supergirl anymore, so I'm missing out on some of the storylines here, but there's something to do with the water supply in Metropolis being dangerously low. Kryptonians are, spat upon. There's this whole thing with magic. It's all a little confusing. I hate having to buy books that I don't want to read to get the whole story, so that kind of pisses me off. This is probably the best part, is when the Guardian of Metropolis and the Science Police, they all gather at a cop bar, and they're here to mourn Mon-El, but, Guardian tells them that Mon-El was also Jonathan Kent, and they also go to mourn him, and there's some interesting relationships between the different characters of the Science Police that you don't really see them too much, without the helmets on and as different characters. So it's kind of interesting. And then at the end, there's this bit of weirdness. So, I don't know. Superman's getting a little confusing. I think it's because I don't, read Supergirl anymore. Maybe I should. I don't know. And then you see Mon-El at the end. He's pissed off. So we'll see what happens there. Not bad, but kind of confusing. Finally is Blackest Night Titans number 2. I love the cover here. Absolutely creepy. The only thing is, I think that Donna Troy's son, he must have been about 3 or 4 when he died. I remember that he was in Green Lantern, and Kyle Rayner babysat him. He must have been about 3 or 4. He was certainly talking. In this issue, he's a Black Lantern, and, they'd come after babies too, but it seems that he's a baby, not like really a toddler. They seem to have de-aged him, and there's Jericho. Donna Troy gets bitten by the kid, which later, if you look at her neck, it seems there's some sort of infection going on. You've got the interplay here between the Black Lantern Terra and, of course, Changeling, who was always kind of in love with her. So that, that was more played on last issue. Then we have Hawk and Dove. The Black Lantern, the original Hawk, ripped out the new Hawk's heart. Can't seem to do much about Dove, though. He sees Dove as white. I went into that a bit. I think that Blackest Night Titan's a little more important than some of the other tie-ins. I'm so sick of these Aeon ads. I get it. Here's a blatant ass shot right there. I think that it was a pretty good issue. I think that Blackest Night Titans is less about telling a story and more about revelations to how Blackest Night works. So it's kind of essential, but not as compelling as it could be. That being said, I did fairly enjoy this issue. I really don't like the Titans. I'll read the Teen Titans every now and then, but the Titans, the main book is so terrible that I dropped it after like 2 issues. So, and I wasn't even buying it. I was like downloading it, and I couldn't even stand it anymore. So that's the comics for this week. The best out of them was definitely Green Lantern, and I'd say the worst is probably Superman. Hopefully Superman will bounce back. We'll see you next week with more reviews.